We thought we were going crazy. Then a friend gave us her old cameras. The first time my wife told me a man was watching us from the bottom of the stairs, I told her it was just a dream. It had to be. We were running on fumes. Our world shrunk to the four walls of the nursery and the smell of sour milk. Our son, Milo, had a vendetta against sleep, and we were the casualties. My wife, Anja, was seeing things. I was losing things. We were a mess. Our house didn't help. It was one of those weird old places, split into two separate living areas from a previous life. A full apartment on the ground floor, another on the first. We lived upstairs, and after Milo was born, we started using the upstairs kitchen and bathroom almost exclusively. The ground floor became this strange, forgotten territory we only passed through on our way out the door, a place for cats to hunt dust bunnies and for our exhaustion to manifest. It started small, so small you'd call me crazy for even mentioning it. I'd come down in the morning to find the door to my little home office, which I knew I'd closed, standing wide open. Anja would ask if I'd left a water glass on the living room mantelpiece. I'd ask if she'd moved the heavy armchair to face the window. We blamed baby brain. We blamed our 3 cats. We blamed the ghosts of our former, well-rested selves sleepwalking through the house out of habit. It was easier than thinking about anything else. Then Anja started hearing things at night, the soft scrape of a chair on the hardwood downstairs, a muffled cough that wasn't mine. I heard it once too. A distinct thud from the kitchen, sharp enough to make me sit up in bed, my heart thumping against my ribs. But when I crept to the top of the stairs and listened, there was only the hum of the refrigerator and the silence of a sleeping house. Had to be the cats, knocking something over. It's always the cats. One night she shook me awake, her face pale in the moonlight slanting through our window. "Casimir," she whispered, her voice tight. There was someone on the stairs. I saw a hand on the banister when I came back from the nursery. I held her and told her it was a shadow, a trick of the light. I believed it. I had to, because the alternative was unthinkable. The thing that finally broke through my wall of denial was a shoe. A tiny, muddy kid's sneaker. It was sitting in the downstairs bathroom, tucked beside the toilet. It was a toddler's shoe, maybe a size 5, caked in dried dirt and with a frayed lace. Milo was still in booties. It wasn't ours. We hadn't had any visitors with kids that small in months. I picked it up. It felt heavy, wrong. Anja just stared at it, her arms crossed tight over her chest. "Who the fuck does that belong to?" she asked. But it wasn't a real question. It was an accusation aimed at the house itself. We checked every window, every door, all locked. I took a picture of the stupid thing and sent it to our family group chat. Anyone recognize this? No one did. We threw it in the outside trash, but we couldn't throw away the feeling it left behind. The feeling of being watched. A week later, a miracle. A friend was upgrading her home security system and offered me her old setup. "They're a bit shit," she'd said. "The connection drops sometimes, but they work." I took them, mostly just to make Anja feel better. I spent a Saturday rigging them up, one pointed at the living room, one at the downstairs kitchen, and one covering the door that led down to the basement. I figured I'd catch one of the cats doing something weird, and we could all have a laugh. The next morning, nothing seemed out of place. I made coffee, the house was quiet, Anja was still asleep. I pulled up the camera feed on my phone, ready to scrub through a boring night of grainy, black and white nothing. And then I saw it. At 12:47 a.m., movement. A figure slipping into the frame from the basement door. Then another. A young man, early 20s, covered in sleeve tattoos, and a woman with a long dark braid carrying a duffel bag. They moved with a chilling casualness, like they owned the place. He went straight to our fridge, pulled out the leftover pasta I was planning on having for lunch, and started eating it cold, right out of the container. The woman wandered into the living room, picked up one of Anja's family photos from the mantel, and studied it. I felt the coffee go sour in my stomach. My hands started to shake. This was happening. This was real. Then, a third person emerged from the basement. This one was different. Older, maybe 40. Built like a brick shithouse. He moved slowly, deliberately. He didn't touch anything, he just looked. His head panned across the room, taking everything in. While the other two were treating our home like their personal lounge, he was scanning it like he was casing a bank. Then he walked towards the stairs, right towards the blind spot of the camera. And he went up. He disappeared from view. The footage just showed the younger two. The girl was rummaging through a drawer where Anja kept spare keys and mail. The guy was flicking through our TV channels. And the man, the big one, was upstairs, somewhere near where my wife and my son were sleeping. My blood ran cold. The camera in the living room had a microphone. I cranked the volume on my phone, my thumb trembling. Over the low murmur of the television, I could hear it. A faint, rhythmic creak. From the floorboards upstairs, from the hallway right outside our bedroom door. He was up there for nearly an hour, just pacing. Or listening. I didn't wake Anja up. I just walked into the living room, picked up my phone, and called the police. My voice was eerily calm when I told the dispatcher I had video of 3 people inside my house. The aftermath was a blur. Cops, questions, the hollow feeling of violation. We finally figured out how they were getting in. The garage. We didn't own a car, so we just used it for storage, a place for old furniture and forgotten hobbies. We hadn't checked the heavy roll-up door in years. It was unlocked. The police said it looked like it hadn't been properly secured in a long, long time. From the garage, a simple wooden door led into the basement, and from the basement, they had the run of our home. My brother came to stay with us. We changed every lock in the house. The police were great at first. Patrols circled our block. A detective gave us weekly updates. They said the big guy matched the description of a man who'd beaten a gas station attendant half to death across town. But he wasn't in any system, a ghost. The young couple vanished. As the weeks turned into a month, the calls stopped. The case went cold. We were just another statistic. We tried to find a new normal. We bought a dog, a huge German Shepherd mix with a terrifying bark. We installed a state-of-the-art alarm system. The basement door is now reinforced with a steel bar every night. But you can't barricade your own mind. For months, every creak the old house made was them, coming back. Anja refused to go downstairs alone after dark. I can't blame her. I'd find myself standing at the top of the stairs, listening, just listening, for something that wasn't there. We kept thinking about the what-ifs. What if Milo had woken up crying? What if I'd gone down for a glass of water and met that man on the stairs? And the cats? The camera footage showed our bravest hunter, a scrappy tabby named Finn, rubbing up against the tattooed guy's leg. The little traitor. About a month after the police stopped calling, we were starting to breathe again. We thought it was over. Then, one morning, I opened the front door to get the mail. Sitting perfectly in the center of our doormat was the other tiny, muddy shoe. The matching one to the sneaker we'd found in the bathroom. It was clean this time. Placed there for us to find. There was no note. There didn't need to be. The message was loud and clear. We know you saw us, and we can come back whenever we want.